What's up, gamers? My name's Scyushi and we're back in some more Trove. Now, before we get started with the Shadows Eve event tutorial today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about that precious downtime that's going on the PC right now, because we're supposed to be getting the Leviathan update today. Sorry, console players, but at the least, take this, consider this. The servers should still be online for consoles. You guys can actually, use this tutorial and get the event done as quickly as possible, because as I'm recording this right now, the servers are about to go offline, and they're supposed to be going offline for like 5 hours plus. And I mean, we've had a lot of issues that they've ran into with the recent downtimes. So honestly, I would just say, guys, don't hold your breath for Trove today. Just, if you're on PC, don't even bother trying to play. You can keep up with my Twitter. You can follow me on there. I'll definitely end up letting you guys know as soon as the servers are back online. If not, already doing a live stream of when the Leviathan update ends up going live today. Either way, I hope that this video is going to end up being helpful to those of you that can complete the event, and it's really, really cool. Smash like for me as well. I would appreciate that. And one last thing, I'm sorry guys, I just gotta say, if you use that sign up link in the description and you're new to Trove, use it, because then if you end up ever buying anything out of the store, I'll make a cut of it. And speaking of which, we've actually got shadowy seals that you can end up buying out of the cash shop as well this year, which I honestly didn't even know that. I might have to do that just so I can get the other mount and do a video for you guys, because this is what one of the mounts is going to be. It's not related to the event, however, but anyways, let's get into it. So right in the hub, there's going to end up being this gigantic pumpkin dude right here, and you can end up accepting quests from these guys every single day. I think they only give you like 1 coin a day or something ridiculous, so you can complete a 3-star dungeon, collect 3 pumpkins, earn a Bomber Royale coin from just doing bomber, and then you get to go in here, and there's going to end up being this guy, which as far as I know, these items, it says trick treat, these are just going to end up being unused explosive pumpkins will dematerialize. So let's actually grab 2 of these. Let me just show you what these are. I'm pretty sure they're just going to end up being visual bombs that you can throw down. Okay, one of them actually deleted because it didn't go onto my hotbar properly. It says it's on my hotbar, but it's not. Weird. Okay, well, that's a strange bug. Anyways, whoop, there you go. That's one of them. Really cool VFX, man alive. That's from the Shadows Eve dragon that we had a couple years back. And there's a lot of things that you guys can end up getting out of just the Shadow Station in general. But we can talk about that in another video, because today we're going to focus on the event itself. So for the first part of the event, you're going to have to complete a Shadows Eve adventure. That's just going to be one of the quests from either of these guys. Very, very simple, very easy and to the point, and you'll end up getting a Shadowy Seal 2019. So let's just call them shadow tokens. Those shadowy seals are going to end up being used to craft various things. You should be able to craft this guy once you've actually done all of the dailies, all of these guys' quests, and then this event quest itself. So then up next, we've already got complete 3 pumpkin layers. So there's 2 types of pumpkin layers, all right? This I found a lot of people were getting a bit confused about, but there's basically going to end up being one of them that looks like this, and this is going to end up being the pumpkin farm. So keep this one in mind, because we'll talk about it in a bit. And then there's going to be these ones that can spawn in every single biome in the game, and these are going to end up being the dungeons themselves. I don't know whether or not they're on Geode surface. I haven't actually found one yet, and I'm a little bit pressed for time because the downtime is coming around. So if there is some Shadows Eve pumpkin dungeons in Geode topside, somebody let me know in the comments. That would be very appreciated, because I didn't have the time to farm it. So console players, you guys, I'm leaving it up to you. You'll end up just getting another shadow token from that. Pretty much every part of this quest ends up just giving you shadow tokens, which is good because you get quite a bit of mastery out of this, out of all of this, especially if you're a new player and don't already, like, maybe this is your first Shadows Eve event. So there's lots and lots of items that you can end up getting out of this thing, right? But then for the third part of the quest, you have to collect 50 pumpkins. So this is where these dungeons come into play, the farming dungeons. You're basically going to go through them, and you're going to end up finding pumpkins. And I mean, you can either use your weapon, or you can end up just walking over them with your mount. It's easy peasy. You'll usually end up finding lots of people farming them, so it's pretty good. Oh my goodness gracious, look at that guy's ally. That's a new ally. I didn't know that that was actually a thing. That looks adorable. I want that. That's like the coolest ally I've ever seen. My gosh. Where did he get it? He must have gotten it out of the new collectible boxes. Yeah, the Skelly treasure chest. So anyways, you get a shadow token from that. And then for number 4, you have to collect 5 candy corn. So now you're actually going right back to the pumpkin dungeons, because when you end up completing those dungeons, it's very, very important that you end up opening the dungeon chest. Even if you're in an early Uber world, you know, you can get them as early as the Cursed Veil biome. Either way, you open those chests and then you'll end up getting candy corn. And I also don't have footage of it, but if I'm not mistaken, because they've had it from other Shadows Eve events, and I myself did run into him, but I didn't end up catching it on camera because he died so quickly. I'm pretty sure he's exclusive to the Cursed Veil world, where if you end up completing a dungeon in just the Cursed Veil biome, I guess, not necessarily the world, you can have Todstrom spawn. He's that guy from the tutorial that's kind of like the Hunchback, you know, he's weird. But anyways, when he ends up spawning just out of a random dungeon and then you defeat him, you'll end up just getting some more candy corn from that. If not, I think he can drop mystery boxes, but I'm not exactly sure on that one. I think it's just candy corn. So out of that event, you're also going to end up getting another shadow token. And then it wants you to craft a Nightmare mystery box. So these are just the boxes crafted over here in the hub in the legacy crafting table. So you can actually just use candy corn to craft these. And these are, you know, they're okay. They can contain a plethora of different items, including Shadows Eve recipes, but more notably, they can end up dropping another adventure chest that can contain mounts and items and stuff like that. So, I mean, you gotta love that RNG on RNG, right? You gotta grind candy corn to get this box that can potentially end up dropping a Shadows Eve box, adventure box that can potentially end up containing a mount and stuff like that. It's just, it's so weird, dude. But anyways, that'll end up giving you another shadow token, and then you have to complete 50 1-star dungeons, easy peasy. Just, I don't know, go to one of the earlier Uber worlds or something like that, just so that you can complete the dungeons efficiently, and most of all because you want to run into pumpkins. If you're trying to be the most efficient possible, shadow towers are a good idea. 5-star dungeons in Geo Topside are really, really quick and easy for completing 1-star dungeons, but ultimately I'd recommend you just go to one of the earlier worlds so that you can get them done nice and quick, and then you can end up getting all the pumpkins and stuff. So that's just going to end up being another shadow token, of course. And then you have to clear 5 cursed skull piles. So, you know, when you go into dungeons and then there's the cursed skull that you activate, and then it spawns like 3 enemies and then 4 enemies, or can spawn 30 enemies over, like you gotta defeat 30 enemies over and over and over again. So this part of the quest is actually really broken. I'm not exactly sure what the parameters are to complete it, but from testing, this is just me speaking here, I found that I didn't get any progression towards the quest when I completed the kill 30 enemy dungeons. Like, I don't think any of those worked for me, and anything earlier than Uber 1 didn't work for me. And I also didn't have any of the cursed skulls in elemental worlds work for me. Now, some people were saying that it did work for them, but I take that with a grain of salt because I don't know whether or not they had a glitch happen, or in all honesty, maybe it just works for some people, and then some people it just doesn't work. My recommendation, because it didn't work in Shadow Towers either, it did work in, you know, Geo Topside, I don't know. I'd recommend you just go to U1, you know, just search around, try to find them, because then you can end up doing pumpkin dungeons at the same time. You only have to complete 5 of them, so it's not like it's that big of a deal, but it's really weird and inconsistent which ones will end up counting towards the quest line itself, which is weird. Anyways, you get our shadow key or shadow token from that. And then finally, last but not least, you have to defeat a Draco Lich, which is extremely easy because all you gotta do is go into the permafrost biome and then just keep on looking in the top right corner of your screen until you end up seeing the quest to defeat the Draco Lich. It's going to end up being one of the dungeon bosses. You can usually find them in this dungeon very often, and sometimes you'll end up finding it as a 3-star boss in some other dungeons. There's like the giant ice castle that's got snow globe on top of it or whatever it is, that can usually end up spawning him as well. And then finally, again, last but not least, you're going to end up getting another shadow token. I'm pretty sure this guy right here and this guy right here are the only 2 new things. We already know what this looks like, or I do anyways. It's going to end up being, if I'm not mistaken, it's a dolphin that is going to end up being ghost-like, and you'll be able to see the bones inside him, which, I mean, you could end up buying these, but 15 for 1,500, like that's really expensive, in all honesty. Like, even for somebody like me, I would probably just wait and just do all of the dailies, because these tokens don't have much of a purpose outside of just getting these mounts for the extra mastery. I guess you could be buying these up, which will end up giving you a chance to get Bound Brilliance, Dragon Coins, and stuff like that, but it's not something super duper uber important that you have to go out of your way for. So if you're just grinding them the normal way, which is more than likely what I'm gonna do, just because we're gonna have the Leviathan update on PC, so I'm gonna be busy with that in the first place, you'll be talking to all these guys every day to end up getting their daily quests out of the way. Either way, thanks for watching, folks. Smash like, sub for more. You want to support me, you can also hit that join button down below, or buy some of the merch, which is down below as well. Have yourselves a great day, everybody. Sayonara, and stay epic, gamers.